I'd be curious, Anne Ferrell, as you have gone through this journey and you're into this next season, how have you seen, because starting, you were coming off of COVID. And so the climate and the temperature of even people and the isolation and all these different conversations associated to, we could go down a whole rabbit hole. Education, politics is surely one of them. How are you seeing things that are different now in this election versus in the past?
Well, I think that the one good thing about COVID, and there weren't many good things about it, but one thing, it really did open people's eyes. And when we saw the learning loss with these kids they're still suffering, and we have data to show it. I mean, we're going to be playing catch up for a long time for that. And then the businesses that were shut down. I mean, closing down churches and keeping alcohol ABC stores open, that just is to me criminal.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And these small business people that really were suffering, having their businesses closed. So I think it'll be interesting, to see what happens now. But that really got a lot of people involved. It got a lot of people. They're like, wait a minute, what happened here? It kind of caught us all off guard. And so it's just going to be really interesting to see how, what happens going forward. But I mean, I know for my own campaign, so many people that came and volunteered for me from day one were people that were like, I've never been in, I heard this all the time, I've never been involved with politics before. I mean, even staff. My staff all three people that have been working around my campaign, they had not been involved with politics before. And they all came, it was all out of the COVID. They were like, what is happening to our community, to our country? And so it really did wake up a lot of people. So that's been helpful and fun.
I loved meeting them. I love their heart. I love all of your all's energy together too. Is just so electric and ignited that I can only imagine when you're in the community, people are like, wow, this is a bright light. But that's a gift from God in so many ways, because we were so used to like it being dark and dreary, and like, this is what that is. Honestly, I would definitely raise my hand to being one of those people. I'm like, I don't want to get involved with that. I was involved in politics when I was really young, in middle school and high school, as like a student advocate and voice for our populations in our schools. And then when I went to college, I got in that tussle and turning of like liberalism and being a Democrat versus a Republican. I was raised in a Republican home. My dad is like a diehard. He was in the military for many years. And so I felt like there was this massive chasm, and I felt like I just kind of got stuck in the middle of it. And because I don't like confrontation, because I'm not one, I just want everybody to like get along and like, let's play together. For a long time in my 20s, even starting a family here in the area, I just kind of stayed out of that. We don't have a TV downstairs, so we're not watching the news. I kind of felt like I was a bit in a hole until COVID as well. And so for the person who's like, I don't know how to even get involved, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, it feels really overwhelming, or like another thing to add to my to-do list, what are some ways that you would help encourage people to try or learn or get involved in a way that could be eye-opening to them?
Well, I appreciate that, because we really need people to be involved. Going back to my example of the 60,000 voters, of those 60,000 registered voters in my district alone, only 25 to 27,000 actually vote. Wow. So it's like people really are not voting, and for a variety of reasons. But it's an easy way to get involved is when there are always these meet and greets for candidates. Go and attend one of those. They're usually free, because if it's not a fundraiser, they're a free event. Go and listen to what they have to say. Go to their website and actually look and see what they stand for, and get to know them. And go to, in Virginia Beach, we have four different women's clubs, Republican women's clubs. Go and attend a meeting. We have it's called City Committee. Where it's another, the Republican Party, they have a meeting one day a month. So there are a number of things you can do, or just sign up, go on a candidate's website and sign up for their newsletter. So, or follow them on, social media, and then you kind of get to know what they stand for and what they're about. And because it is important that these elections matter. And in Virginia, we're unique where we have elections every year.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get a little battle weary of like, another election, but they all really matter. They all count. And so, and if we have, when when in 2020, the Democrats had both the House and the Senate, and they rolled back a lot of laws that were unfortunate, really in the area of, criminal being soft on crime, and it's, our crime rate's up. So it's unfortunate that some of the decisions that they made, I feel like, were not great decisions, and so we're suffering for them. So we're trying to get some of those back and just get more common sense, and we always say it is about the common sense, but some of the things you're like, oh my gosh, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I think common sense is conflicting when there's an agenda, right?
Yeah.
And we can take things out of play of common sense. And that's why my dad, the word he always uses, and I've been saying it lately, and I don't know why, because it's not a very nice word, but he always would be like, that's asinine. And I was always like, yeah, it really is. And so I found when you say the thing that your parents say and you're like, oh my gosh, I sound just like my mom. I sound just like my dad. I said it the other day and my son looked at me and I was like, I'm sorry, Papa used to say that and it just was the perfect time that it came out. But when it comes to things in politics, I feel that way sometimes. I'm like, this is insane. I just want to do you not see? It's like the shaking of people. And yet when we got together and we were talking as a team, and my team got to be there too, it was such a special time. We were talking about the 7 Mounts mantle and the different mountains, and politics being one of them, education. If you've never heard of this, you guys, before, I highly recommend The 7 Mountain Prophecy. It's an incredible book. But you have had the opportunity of being on the arts and entertainment side as well with K-Love. And so how do you feel like your experience with K-Love, you kind of alluded to it with the orphan spirit and being able to support people in the impoverished realm. How has that been able to help you in what you're doing now?
Well, the being in media in general, it's all about messaging, and K-Love, as you know, it's part of EMF Broadcasting, and K-Love, all we do is play contemporary Christian music. We always say we don't do commentary, we don't do sermons, and we don't do talk. It's contemporary Christian music, and it's just, it's music with a message. And now, we always say it's the kind of music you can listen to with your kids in the car. You don't have to worry about a cuss word coming, popping out, or vulgarity. I mean, all that is just unfortunate. You never know what or even disc jockeys are going to go off on a tangent about talking about things that are appropriate for children. So it's really nice to be a part of a ministry and a media company that the tagline is positive and encouraging. And so that's, I mean,
I know it by heart.
But it is, I love being a part of them. And we just actually have new leadership, and they do amazing things, and they have amazing content. And it's with so much content out there that's just dark and heavy and, scary, and it's evil. It's just a lot of evil, scary stuff. And that gets in your soul.
It does.
When you watch that and listen to it, it really gets in your soul. And no wonder people have nightmares and can't sleep. No wonder.
So true.
And, the Bible talks about that as meditate on things that are pleasing and noble and lovely and good, and so it's a real honor to be a part of what they do at K-Love. And it's ecclesiastical, so it's not, or ecumenical. It's not one denomination. It's just, the whole purpose
at large.
at large. Exactly.